this unique ability to just be really present and kind and deeply there with everyone you meet.
Right. Well, thank you, man.
And I think that for, you know, having met you in public arenas, whether it was the Bad Boys premiere and then in our personal meetings, as you were mentioning, you're just even better.
Well, thank you, man.
And I think that that's so hard to be when you're that good. But I remember that, and that was the hospitality me and Radhi felt with you, like that ability to care for each person walking in, the family aspect, making us feel welcomed and a part of it. That I just think that in today's world, that human aspect is what we're all missing.
I think that is a part of my DNA, you know. Part of it from difficult aspects of my childhood. You know, I grew up with violence in my home, you know, so I developed, you know, a really acute emotional sense, you know, out of defense. You know, I just needed to make sure that my father was okay. I needed to make sure things were going well. And I just became really hypersensitive to emotional movement in a room as a defense mechanism. And then as I, you know, grew and as I started to develop that, you know, that heightened sense that started out as defense, as I settled down and, you know, came into a deeper understanding of my power and my desires in the world, it was easier to connect to people in a loving way. It transferred easily from a defense mechanism to an ability to love and care for people.
That's amazing, though, that you were able to process it positively.
Yeah.
I feel like we're living at a time, we've talked about this before, that our childhood experiences form our adult desires.
Absolutely.
And I feel like now people are starting to hear that in the conversation where they're like, oh yeah, because this happened with my parents.
Yeah.
Now I feel like this. How do you think you were able to, because we've talked about this before when you've talked about different, your mother, your father, what you learned from them. Tell us a bit about what you learned and how you were able to process it positively and engage with it rather than create a negative story from it. Because a lot of people may see violence and react differently.
Yeah. I think there's always an aspect of us that when we feel unloved, you know, in any capacity, in any relationship, when we feel unloved, when we feel mistreated, when we feel somehow disrespected, it's a natural reaction to want revenge. And I think that's what happens with most people, specifically in our most vulnerable stages when we're children, and we haven't done anything to deserve that kind of treatment. It's really hard for the ego to not click into revenge, you know? And, you know, once I discovered that mechanism, once I saw that most of us walk around with, that, you know, we want revenge against that mistreatment. It's a little piece of that with all of us. So the problem is that when you seek revenge, you destroy yourself. And that's the paradoxical conflict that we all live in. Someone has mistreated us. We want revenge, but if we take it, we hurt ourselves more.
Vai acontecer. Diariamente eu vou passar para vocês sinais que você não precisa entender. Você não precisa entender, você vai copiar tudo que eu faço. Você vai copiar tudo que eu faço e você vai ter os resultados que eu tenho.